spoke. A nonchalant seduction, instant from our introduction. It was something out of movie, we were truly groovy. But my ego is a bitch and I just wanna kiss. From her pretty lips, fall asleep in her eyes, where a peace resides. This wasn't vanity or pride. She flaunts her confidence, we shared a warm caress. Our desires pure and present.
Good evening, Fredonia. You're listening to the local lowdown on WCVF 88.9 The Voice and WDVL 89.5 The Inferno. I'm Elena, your co-host and field interview lead.
Hey, what's up? I'm Jordan. I'm your other co-host. I'm also the A&R lead and the executive producer.
Hey, it's Sebastian, your technical director, making sure all the technology is technology.
Nice.
And tonight's show is brought to you by Fredonia Radio Systems in a group effort to promote and showcase the local music scene right here in Fredonia, but also Western New York at large. Welcome to the Local Lowdown.
On this week's episode, we are introducing our guest for the week, Noble Rose of Sundayz Project. Welcome on.
What's up? What's up?
All right. If you'd like to start by introducing yourself and any background you have in music.
Well, I'm debuting the name Noble Rose as my artist name, my pen name. I'm Nolan Rozier, though. And my background in music, I do it for fun. I do it for the love of hip-hop because that's the world I reside in. And I like to produce beats, so it's all for the sound, all for the good sound.
Yeah, and the name of the label, the project you've been working on for many years, is called Sundayz Project.
Sundayz Project.
Right.
That started in 2020 while I was going to school here at Fredonia. And it's evolved ever since, grown at a natural pace. I haven't put too much pressure on it. But, I'm still doing things. And this album we're going to be talking about is my latest offering.
Gotcha, yeah. And you've said it's about music, it's about fashion, sound design. We've talked about it on the show before. Nolan was on a little mini episode that we did probably in 2022, I'm going to guess.
The spring of 2022.
So check that out if you haven't already. Nolan was on his last days at Fredonia before he left.
Yeah, it was a good closer to my time here.
Yeah.
And we have already mentioned it a couple times, but you are a Fred alum.
Yes.
You studied audio radio production and music industry. Mm-hmm. What's it like being back here now? And how do you feel that it's all helped you with your work with music and your brand?
Yeah, I love coming back to Fredonia. I spend time here. My family's here a little bit. My girlfriend is here, so I'm here. But coming to the radio station is a cool feeling because I only got to spend really my final semester here hanging out. But as far as the degrees go, it's I'm trying to get them to be working professionally, actually, going forward right now. And it's helped me artistically, creatively, and I guess in a hobby-wise, for sure. It gave me the introduction and the set of skills to get me going recording-wise and feel good about, mixing, making things sound clean. I like doing that, so it's helped me in that case.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm going to reference that conversation that we had again, but we talked a lot about your musical influences in that conversation. We talked about Boldy James, A$AP Rocky, Alchemist, Griselda, the Nolan inspirations. But what we didn't talk about a lot was like inspirations for fashion, and I wanted to get into that a little bit. Is there any specific influences?
Yeah, I would say my favorite brands that I look at as kind of not like a blueprint because I'm not trying to copy, but, the way that they portray their brands visually is Aimé Leon Dore out of Queens, New York. And they do a lot of, they work with good fabrics and patterns and just a casual, but it's a ready-to-wear line. It's not a typical, runway fashion label. So it's more middle of the road, which is something that I would aim to become. That's my favorite. I would say like overall that side of things rather than full-on fashion houses are my inspirations, but off the top of my head, I don't know if I could name drop any other ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now going a little bit more into your own work with fashion. Throughout your project, you have released things such as beanies, snapbacks, camo pants. What was your initial inspiration, and why did you want to start creating all of this?
Well, like I said, it started in 2020. That was around the time of the COVID era, and I was bored and had time to think. I all of a sudden just came up with a name. I don't even really remember how that happened. I'll mention the name. It's pretty much, the things you get done on a Sunday, whether that be around the house, like chores, or creatively, which is my day where you kind of can set stuff aside for that. And it's my dedicated day for creativity, is Sundayz project. And it's an ongoing thing, so that's why it is a project. But I kind of forgot the question you asked me.
Yeah, no. What is your process for creating a lot of the different things you have, such as your snapbacks, beanies, all of that?
All right. Well, with those pieces, I have done a lot of hats, and those are easy to get manufactured because, one, you don't have to do size breaks as you would with a T-shirt or something.
Yeah.
And I love hats, and this logo that's on my hat right now. It's a perfect hat logo because it's a baseball logo, and so it kind of started with that. Camo pieces, I have like a few of those. I just like camo. I like the earth tones, and that's kind of where I went with the latest drop I have going right now is the wool cap, the baseball
it looks awesome.
cap. Thank you. Yeah, those I did like the army green and that brown, and I will talk about those because I'm proud of that. That's my most quality product so far. The wool blend cap with a felt letter sewn on and embroidery on the side, pretty much like I'm wearing right now, but solid color. And like it was easy. It's not easy to get created or manufactured, but through the help of my resources at Oxford Pennant, where I work right now, I was able to heat press the letters on, get them sewn by a friend, and then get the embroidery done by a friend too. And so with the pieces, it just comes as it comes, whatever I'm feeling at the time, kind of.
Yeah, that wool cap, I was looking at it too right before this recording, and it looks super cool.
Yeah.
Looks
Thank
super
you.
nice.
Yeah.
It's clean. It's like, Oxford Pennant, we make pennants, camp flags. It's out of felt, and they're inspired by that Americana type pop culture, and that's where this cap came from. I also have pennants on the way, so my own
nice.
Sundayz project pennant.
Nice.
I'm excited for those. A camp flag too. So I'm kind of just, as Sundayz project, it's the ever evolving thing. So I take where I am at the moment and bring it into the project.
Right.
It's a reflection of where I'm at.
Yeah, and it's good to hear that you're meeting people that can help you with some things
Right.
that maybe you don't know as much about or might need a hand in.
For sure. I mean, I can't do it alone. Even though on my bio it says by Nolan Rozier and crew. I consider everyone that's ever helped me in these things as the crew. So
Yeah.
I definitely appreciate all the help, and they always love to be a part of it too.
In terms of like creating all of different things within fashion, do you have any advice for other artists that are aspiring to do that?
Yeah, I talk to my friends about it too who are interested, and I feel like the main thing I always tell them is just to create one thing, one piece, whatever that may be, and just see where that goes, and the reaction and how you feel once you're done with that, sharing something, because you can't, execution isn't going to be perfect from the start. It's always going to be growing and developing. So as long as you get going on one piece at a time, that's my main advice for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Well, your first ever official piece was some camo pants.
Yeah.
The first ever release. You
Yeah.
weren't really selling those. Though,
No,
right?
I wear those to work as my pants that can get ink all over them as I'm screen printing now.
That's crazy.
But yeah, those were hand painted, hand stenciled SP. That was before I even had this logo. So that's an example of like I had what I had to get something created, and it was that, and
Right.
and they were pretty cool. I like them. So
Yeah.
I made a few other pieces with that SP initial logo or design, but yeah, the camo. I'm inspired by camo. I'm from Gowanda, New York, so the country, I'm out there. I don't hunt, but, you know, like I said, the greens, the browns, those are my favorite colors to wear.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, it's cool to see, like, where you've gone with it, because if you, like, scroll back through Sundayz project, you'll see some more experimentation going on, like you finding your way in it, and now, you know, you got a great logo. You got a cool hat out.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's really honed in.
Yeah, what about that logo in particular? I'd be
This
curious to hear
SP?
more about that, how that came about.
Well, if you look at it close enough, it might look like another logo, the San Francisco Giants.
Okay.
I pretty much took pieces out of that, reworked it, and added a dot so that it would be SP.
Yeah.
Two different words. And the baseball aesthetic is kind of, I didn't try to blatantly go that direction because, you know, it's a project. This is like a cleaner look. But it's just like I like color. I like simple logos, and that's kind of just where I went. It worked. I noticed it one time because I have a Giants hat, and I was like, damn, that's the SP if I took those pieces out. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you have a pretty good eye for iconography. Like, you have that one with the hands that you use quite a bit. Like,
yeah.
It's like kind of like
The
this,
G.
right?
The G, yeah, we call that the G-Town gang sign. It's not gang affiliated, but it's family. My boy and my best friend Jaya, it was like junior year of high school, made that out of his own hands, and we used that first as any logo before Sundayz project was a thing.
Gotcha.
And yeah, that's how we started. It was also hand stenciled and hand painted designs that we were doing.
Wow.
And yeah, those simple like one color logos are what I like.
For sure. Yeah. And then that also was used on a crew neck, right? Which I know at one point you were saying that was like the favorite piece that you've done. Is that still the case?
It was like the white crew neck with the blue and red.
Yep.
That was a great design because that was all handmade too, with the hollowed out logo and then the one solid on the other side. I actually just gifted that to Jaya's younger brother, Rowan, who you know, Rowan. We worked together on Grown and Sexy, our last tape. He got that for Christmas. His dad asked for something. I was like, I'll give him this. That was a favorite piece. I'd say my favorite piece now are these hats, though. Or the one I'm wearing right now is, like, definitely. This was I think I thrifted it at Queen City Vintage out in Buffalo.
Nice.
And got it made the same way I did the other wool caps. I love the suede and the wool plaid.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
How long is the process for making the new wool caps?
It took way too long. It took like a year, just like
Really?
this musical project. I think I was sitting on it for a while because I wanted it to come out at the right time in the season. And also it's just, things take time, especially when I'm relying on other people to help me out. But, you know, it all is perfect timing either way. So it feels good to have them out and ready to be purchased, but it took a while. It takes a while when I'm doing it all kind of in a house, I would say, rather than like sending stuff out to get manufactured from a real manufacturer. And that's, I take pride in that because I work in manufacturing at Oxford Pennant and I love seeing the process. I care about the process. I don't want to, you know, something to be made without my supervision, you know?
Yeah, I mean, for a lot of artists that we've interviewed, no matter what their project is or what they're focused on, if it does take a very long time for the release to happen, it's always a relief that it's done, but it's also like grateful for the process.
Yeah, always. I'll always be grateful for the process. That's a main message in God is Gorgeous that we'll be talking about.
Yeah. Well, before we get into God is Gorgeous, I do want to talk about the project that you released before that, which was with Rowan. You just mentioned him. Grown and Sexy, released on February 14th, Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day classic, for sure.
What year is that? 2022, I guess, again?
Yeah, I think it was.
I think it was.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah.
That's funny to look back at because the name's even funny as we say it.
Right.
Grown and Sexy. It was Rowan's title choice. I like it.
First release,
Yeah.
Grown and Sexy.
It was
We've been doing this forever. We're grown.
It means a lot though. You know, that tape means a lot in the development of where I went with my creative endeavors. Rowan is at school still at Oneonta, kind of craving the chance to get back recording and creating music. He hasn't had the time, but I'm not sure what you were going to ask about the tape. But like I said, it was important in the development, and I'm proud of it still. I listen to it, I laugh, but I'm like, yeah, that was a time. That was a timestamp of, you know, this is where we were mentally and creatively.
Yeah.
It's raw, so it's crazy to listen to. Even there, like the technical improvement of the mix and the production and content matter, lyrical wise, I just like to see that growth. So
Yeah.
for the listener, it would be worth listening to. That's on SoundCloud. This next one will be on all streaming. So that's another thing. I'm glad and proud to put this one everywhere for more ears to hear.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm excited to hear Rowan's stuff too when he gets back to it, because he's really talented, and I'll just be looking forward to what he does.
I'm
next.
excited too. I could say we have, you know, we haven't. He hasn't not made anything. We haven't recorded officially or put a song out, but we definitely been cooking. I have beats, a lot of beats that were made for this current project. Or at that time, I was working on the night shift at Oxford Pennant at that time. I was grinding all night, just in a great creative state when I would get home, and really made a lot of beats. And some of those are going to be used, hopefully, for Rowan's upcoming, you know, project, whenever that may be. Because, his writing it inspires me. You know, that made me step up my pen game for this project just naturally off of, like, you know, I want to feel like him, knowing that my words are more poetic and powerful. And yeah, I'm excited to hear what Rowan has to come too.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Well, we're going to bring it up now. You have an album coming out on March 10th called God is Gorgeous. We were able to listen to it beforehand, and it's fantastic. I'm so excited for it to be released. What can you tell us about the 10-track project, and are you excited for the release?
I'm very eager for this release. I've been sitting on the content for a while, but, you know, I wasn't ready for the execution. Just like the wool caps, I wanted the presentation to be perfect, even though it never is. But I'm excited to hear what people think about this, because it means a lot to me too. So that's kind of why it took a while. It's a personal project, being about, you know, the way I'm going to be describing it is it's a musical curation of spiritual affirmation and poetic expression is how I put it together. And that's what it was as it was being created. Kind of just, I was in a state of, you know, real spiritual growth and connection to what I may think as God. What is God? And, you know, I'll talk about the name God is Gorgeous. You know how people say God is good, God is great. I kind of just liked to put gorgeous there because I like beautiful things, and God's creations are beautiful. They're gorgeous. So I used that. It's alliterative, and it kind of just meant a lot to me. When that came together, I was like, all right, this is the tape. This is the name of the album. Because I was just kind of creating loosely, and then all of a sudden I realized a lot of the beats and samples were based on religion, not really religion, but spirituality. And they're not necessarily gospel tracks, but a lot of soul stuff that had influences around that type of genre.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. And I think everything you said about it is so true. And I especially love the way that it flows when you listen through the whole thing. It really just tells the whole story in that one go kind of thing.
Thank you. Yeah, the sequencing was I love the sequencing too of it. It flows. I couldn't believe how great it sounded, you know, seamlessly kind of as you listen.
Yeah.
And
Sorry, I was just gonna ask if that was like a goal of yours at all, or something that
sequencing is it matters to me, and when as a listener listening to people's projects, and also in a playlist or a mix, I create my own playlist like every week just for my own listening, and I sequence it because I'm not trying to listen to something on shuffle. I like to hear clean transitions, and that may come from, you know, like a slight DJing background, but and just, you know, good projects seamlessly move, you know. So it was a goal, but when it came together and I realized the sonics actually matched like that, I was like, let's go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I've always kind of seen that as one of your strong aspects of your music is the sequencing. It sounds like a backhanded compliment, but it wasn't supposed to be. Because, you're a big fan of sample-based hip-hop, and that's something that's big for, you know, anybody that listens to Jay Dilla or Knowledge or something like that. It's packed with samples, but it sequences perfectly, and tells the whole story in one listen. I liked that.
It's short too. It's a short listen, but compact and concise. The runtime is like 12 minutes, even though it's 10 tracks. That was intentional too. You know, people's attention spans are kind of decreasing. That's not really why I went with that direction, but it helps for, you know, a listener to go in knowing they don't have to sit here for an hour listening to somebody. It's quick hits. It flows. So it's almost like you're listening to maybe one really big song, you know, or a few different ones.
In terms of the samples, was there any specific memories you have finding any of them, or like one that you heard and you're like, that's got to be in it?
Well, like I said, I have a playlist on Spotify that is called Samplelicious. That's I throw everything in there, and then I go in some night and I'm like, this sounds cool. I'll go with this. And as I was doing that for that, I would say 3 to 5 month span, I was just creating every night, probably 3 months. But some of the samples, like defining ones, I would say, you know, almost all, I think every single one mentions God.
Yeah.
Or if you don't hear it in the rest of the song that I didn't sample, that part does. So it just kind of, I couldn't, off the top of my head, I think Faith Walk, that's a great one. That's like really gospel feel. Ego. Kendrick. That's the thing too. Some of the like the narrative samples where Kendrick Lamar is talking, or Earl Sweatshirt speaking about
that's
those
kind
type
of the ones
things.
I was curious about.
Yeah, like Kendrick, that was a live performance where he's just, I don't know, he's like preaching low key. That was big. Those all came together separately, and then, you know, whatever happens. They get fused together. But like I said, I noticed something that it was all this theme was developing. And once that happened, God is Gorgeous, the title track, that was probably the first one to be fully created and recorded. And then Ego that was the second. Okay. And they were, it just happened to be about God. And I was excited to be rapping in that way because it flowed naturally. I didn't sit down except for like maybe 2 tracks and have to like write this out. It was all just these poems kind of in my phone that got put to music.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And in terms of the album cover, when did that come about?
That was like pretty last in the process. Okay. The praying hands, the graininess. I don't know if you could tell, but I didn't want to do a full like mock-up of a vinyl record, you know, how people do that for their cover art. I kind of took inspiration from that, but, you know, didn't do the preset type of layering and, you know, graphic design. Graphic design is not my strong suit, so I've been trying to grow that skill too. Okay. And I think the album cover kind of like was a good test to that.
Yeah, no, I really like the album cover. I was going to point out the graininess in it. I think that's a really cool touch to it.
I appreciate it. Yeah, the blues, I don't know, that blue color was kind of interesting to me. I liked that. And the back track list art too, being like the sky. I don't know, something about the sky, the sun. You know, the sun inspires me because I miss it right now as we're in March.
Right.
And when I was recording this in the summer, so I was glowing. I was like absorbing the sun, and it was power. And so I don't know. That was an inspiration while I was recording, just in general too. The summer season, the warmth. That's where I thrive.
Yeah. You also use the phrase "everything under the sun,"
and that too. You know, so even though maybe Sundayz project is the name of the week or the day of the week, I also think about it as a sun. You know, the sun. It inspires me. Yeah, everything under the sun. That's what we do.
Nolan
at
crew.
Sundayz project. Yeah.
Well, I wanted to mention that in the past, Grown and Sexy was fully recorded at home with GarageBand and Audition. Was that similar for God is Gorgeous?
Yeah, that was... So instead of Audition, which I was mainly using because I was using that in school, I recorded this one it was produced and recorded all on Logic Pro.
Gotcha.
So it was a little step up. It was mastered, though, in Pro Tools. Yeah, so that wasn't my doing. I was going to give the shout out to Dylan Rohr, who you guys know.
Yes.
Who used to work on the show. He did the mastering. It was cool to work with another friend for that.
Nice.
I went to his little studio setup, and it was a cool time.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's great.
Do you have a preference between Audition and Logic?
Yeah, Logic is way better because, I mean, I produced it in there. You can't produce in Adobe Audition, but recording audio and vocals isn't horrible in that. But it was cool to, like, you know, move into a new program where I feel comfortable, and, you know, a lot of hip hop guys actually use that as their main software.
Wow, didn't know that. Yeah. Well, we haven't talked about your new name.
Yeah.
Last time we spoke,
new name.
you didn't have a name.
I had no artist name at
You
that
were
time.
Sundayz Project. Nolan of Sundayz Project.
Yeah,
You were
Noble
throwing around
Rose.
some abbreviations at that time too.
NJ Rose, something like that.
I think it was like FS99.
Oh,
NJ4.
Yeah, there was
SB.
some definitely abbreviations. I'll talk about the name.
Yeah.
Noble Rose is what I'm going by as an artist. It's
it.
kind of natural to me. It's kind of weird to have an artist name as I'm debuting it, but it's a translation to my regular name. Noble is like a meaning of Nolan, and Rose is derived from Rozier, which means grower of roses. So it's kind of just like an alter ego. Same initials, Noble Rose, Nolan Rozier. Just kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
I like
that.
the intention to it as well.
Thank you.
It's like two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, this one makes sense. I'm going to stick with it. I kind of was going to release it under either just Sundayz Project or Nolan Rozier, but I was thinking about the listener. I was like, who wants to read a regular name on Spotify? So I used the artist name, and now I'm going to go with that.
Yeah. Well, that means you're next, Rowan.
Yeah, Rowan needs
Yeah.
the name. I know. That's what I was thinking about earlier. I don't know what he's thinking with that, but hopefully we get to hear soon.
Yeah. Well, I think one other thing I want to talk about with God is Gorgeous is most of it was done by you. There's no
Yes.
features. I mean, you got help with little things along the way, just like you are with the fashion, but it was entirely written, performed, and produced by you. Was that an intentional decision?
For sure, yeah. I thought about tossing Rowan on an interlude or something. He wanted to also, but I was like, this is my thing. This is my personal journey and offering, so I kept it. It was also such a secluded creation and session that I was in where I had my friends listening to it as I was going and helping me with feedback and stuff like that, but definitely this was for me and for those who care about me, and hopefully more that are interested in hearing just the music side of this, you know?
Yeah.
From listening, I can definitely feel it as a very personal project. So that's very, very cool to hear that you were doing all of that too for yourself in that way.
Yeah, it's like journaling. It was kind of like journaling, but I'm putting it to music. It never was the intentions of being a rapper, you know, none of that, but more just like one of my lines in it, and faith walk, I say forever inspired by hip hop. And that's true. I'll always be inspired by the genre that inspires me every single day. I just said that 3 times, the same word, but hip hop is everything. So I wanted to make my contribution to the culture, the game, the genre, and that's what God is Gorgeous is being. That's what it is.
That's dope. I love that. Yeah. Well, I think it's about time for the audience to hear some of God is Gorgeous. Little debut here for some of the music here. So let's transition to that.
Let's go.
I'm in a good place for the time being, but I can never be complacent. Constant dream chasing, turn ideas into reality. Resist the matrix, God is gorgeous. Please believe it, speak with eloquence, move with elegance. When I step into the room, people had to take a glance. Pretty ladies around me think I might just take a chance. Ay, I was blessed with the ear, I was given the vision. Everything I do is sincere, it's part of my religion. Yeah, piece by piece, I build this life from the ground up till we reach new heights. The position I deserve to be in, we reside at the top when we complete the mission. Some say that it's time for a revolution, but fail to work on their self-improvement. Over here, we water our seeds in order to grow, with the goal of a healthy glow. I'm an endearing individual, got a gravitational pull, attraction all natural. I'm the one they call noble.
Can't stop what's going, can't stop what's going. Ain't no waiting on you, ain't no waiting on you. That's vanity.
Melodic kisses in the middle of the summertime. Green grass, sunshine, baby blue skies. Hands running through our hair. A soft breeze brushed our blush cheeks, with our lips pressed playfully and little pauses in between, only for air. Romance so pure, a truly special affair. There was something in her eyes, she saw a sparkle in mine. I told her, baby, that's because you make me feel alive. You respect my aspirational drive. I appreciate your crafty, pretty lady mind. You are cool, baby, let's rule the world, maybe. Find some peace in one another, I feel we could grow together. Side by side, we defy the odds. I wanna run and chase the sun with you, fall in love, hey.
There's a trouble man, confused within, stumbling in darkness because of sin.
Everything I do is just all for the purpose of showing off, stunting.
Everything under the sun, getting 5 things done at once, ayy. I'm a one of one, original and noble, yeah. I strive for a quiet confidence, but at times my pride gets the best and lets my ego win. I've been seeing synchronicities, a bunch of overlaps, similarities between the present and my past. Bad things come, but then returns the good. What am I to do? There's nothing that I couldn't, yeah. I call this instant swag and ego tripping. I had the vision, I'm pursuing this. Look at me now, I'm influencing. What am I up to next? Guess you gotta pay attention. Oh, I forgot to mention, I'm feeling better than I ever did. My whole fit is sick, you don't know who you're dealing with. I've been fly like this, established in the year of 1999. My style beat yours by a mile, I step out and shine. Hope you feel like this some other time. This is divine, perfect timing, always provided by God.
And he still is himself and giving glory to God.
Can you imagine the type of shit it does to your psyche? I'm not talking about the money, I'm not talking about the women, I'm not talking about the clothes, the car, your psyche.
My ego is my enemy, rivalry with the devil, pride won't get the best of me. My pedal to the metal, cruising at the perfect pace, with elegance and grace, keeping a peaceful composure composure, cause it's not a race. Divinity to infinity, life is what it should be. I cannot dwell on my past, connected with God, I'm relaxed. Got a pocket full of faith in my corduroys, rocking my favorite tan flannel and it's plaid. Crushing up purple bud on my notepad. Twist up a J, now I'm blowing all the bad away. Retracted back into my old ways for a day. Maintain devotion, take a breath and pray.
God help me believe how great I can be. The type of person I can be. The type of people I can inspire. The type of people I can influence. I cannot do this shit alone. It takes family, it takes you, and it takes God, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Now I'm talking about.
For a long time, I think I made the mistake of thinking that it was like a before and after thing. Like I would like reach a point, and then you're like done struggling. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm good now. It's like it's over.
Yeah. Pray for no resentment and rather realization. Rid myself of this underlying anxiousness. Remain righteous, life is priceless. Precious people by my side, a couple up in the sky. Sunshine beaming down on me, he is looking out for me. What is willed must be, my family will be proud of me.
It's like that stopped scaring you. Like that motion stopped scaring you so much. You kind of plan on it. So it's like I have this opportunity right now to like truly be happy.
It's an ever-long battle in this game of life. For the balance that we seek, guess we gotta earn our stripes. Learn to go with the flow, but have discipline and stay humble. Even following a big win, yeah. Clashing fabrics and patterns, I keep it calm and collected. Walk with a quiet confidence. I hold on to my shyness, the source of my honesty. All praise to the highest, God as our majesty.
For balance, what I'm trying to do right now, and I prayed on this yesterday, right? Like this, it was in my prayer. Like, forgive me for the time that I haven't really treated what's been bestowed on me like the blessing that it is. Which is sometimes just simply enjoying.
True that.
Woo!
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that set, Nolan.
Yes.
I know you don't perform often, but you did here today, so thank you.
Yes, it was a good time.
Yeah. The last time you performed was at Group Chat, hosted by C4W2, when they used to be doing that gig. Seemed like a really creative and cool event series they were doing there.
That was a great way to get my feet wet. You know? That was the right environment, right crowd, and right intentions for that show being, it was an ongoing series. So Rowan and I got the chance to hop on. It was really cool.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like that was the perfect way for you guys to start off.
Yeah, I want to do more live stuff too, so we'll see however that happens. Yeah. But, the studio is where I reside, so I like making stuff sound cleaner than it would be live.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's fair. At that performance, did you have a favorite song that you performed?
Yeah, it was, titled Now, Noble. At that time, that's the bonus track on this. Was titled One of One because it was released prior to this, which we didn't talk about that track, but that kind of really set off where my, that spiritual journey and process was from that song. It kind of started it all. And then I went back to it, realized, I'm gonna use it because it matters in the process. So I threw it on as the bonus track. But that was my favorite one to perform. That's the trappier beat on the end of the tape. Yeah. The right energy to perform live,
Yeah, that's fair. Are there any others that you're excited to possibly perform after the album comes out?
Yeah, probably the title track, God is Gorgeous. I like that one.
That would be great live, yeah.
And probably the Melodic Kisses one, the love track. It's like a real performative song on the recording, So it'd be cool to translate that live. But either overall, I think it's probably better being heard on streaming or digitally, just based on the samples and stuff. As long as it's the right setting, it could be fine live, but people expect, more hard-hitting stuff. But I got good feedback last time at group chat on my beats, so that felt good too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Would you see yourself pulling some from Grown and Sexy and also doing God and Gorgeous?
Especially if Rowan's with me, because I think I'm more proud of his work on there than I am of mine.
Okay.
Hoodie is my favorite track on there by me.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I love that one still, but the other ones are kind of funny to hear. I don't think they need to be heard live. But Rowan, he has the smash hit, Gelato.
Yeah. I thought that was the one you were going to say.
I almost forgot the name, but yeah, that's a classic. So more people need to hear that one live.
I think we used that as the intro and outro for the interview that we did, and I was like, "That's perfect."
Yeah. That sample has mad
Smash
energy. That beat. So Rowan loves that one still too. So we're proud of it.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely. Well, for this project in particular, what were some of the hip hop influences that you had? Were they the same as the last time we talked, or were they different?
There's some overlap between, either way, I kind of rap how I rap. I did grow as a rapper during this. I, found my voice, I think, more. That's another reason I feel more comfortable with this tape than the prior one. But specifically, the influences were Guru, from, with DJ Premier and all their stuff. He really sends a message through his music and his voice, kind of his delivery. I feel like I stretch my words kind of like him.
Okay.
And then you got Mos Def or Yasin Bey. Mos Def was a spiritual, powerful rapper. His cadence, I know specifically when I realized he was a main influence in this tape. I think I was writing God is Gorgeous, the title track. And that flow, I was spitting it over a knowledge beat.
Okay.
And I was like, oh yeah, this flow is like the exact Mos Def delivery with how he hits things. And that was an example of where I really found the direction I was kind of going to go with it, by being more of a, telling a message, sharing something, and doing it for more than even just the music, but for the words. And
yeah, not just style.
Yeah, and not just style, but their style definitely is reflected in my music, I would say.
Yeah.
If you listen to them and me, I don't know. People have told me other people I sound like Bones. I don't know if you know Bones. Yeah. Maybe the layering on my voice that I use, probably that, because obviously the beats are not that dark at all. But things, some just random, I don't know, people haven't told me too many people I sound like, which is probably could be a bad or a good thing. But
that's how you take it.
Yeah, I think Guru and Mos Def, Common. I realized Common, he sends a message too, speaks really clearly on his tracks, and so he'd be another one. But I didn't realize that till after. It was kind of like an unconscious thing. I was listening to a lot more 90s hip hop where they were doing something for a reason, what I consider real hip hop, doing it for the people, for the culture, spreading the word, and that's kind of that was the world I was in.
Yeah, it's quite different than the influences we were talking about last time.
Yeah, where like
the trap
the
stuff.
Griselda and Boldy James and Alchemist, the production is always inspired by Alchemist and how he loops stuff, but it was kind of more straight up, like, do you know who Nicholas Craven is?
It sounds familiar, but
he's produced with Boldy, has a few tapes with him, and some other Ransom is another rapper, but his production style is really stripped back, loops and samples, where he almost adds no drums most of the time, and that's kind of what I did on here. I only added drums to 2 or 3 tracks. The rest of it is just straight sampling and looping and arranging, mixing it to sounds, a little more hip-hoppy than soul, but all these tracks are I'm pretty much rapping on a soul beat, not really a hip hop boom bap type thing.
Right.
So that was different to find my flow on there too.
Yeah. Again,
Yeah.
I can really see like the intention you have for everything.
Thank
Very
you.
nice.
That's good to hear because, you know, even though I may think I have the direction and I know it's all intentional, if I want that to be noticed by the listener too.
Well, God is Gorgeous is coming out on March 10th, and I believe the wool caps are already released.
Yes, they're
Yeah.
still available for purchase
Awesome.
on my Big Cartel site. It's in a link in my bio on Instagram.
Awesome.
Yeah, still got a few left of each color, so check those out for sure.
Yeah.
It's good quality.
Are there any other releases or anything that you would like us to know about?
Well, so we got those caps coming out, the tape coming out, and like I said earlier, I have some Oxford pennant things coming with a exclusive pennant and camp flag. The camp flag is gonna say everything under the sun.
Nice.
So that would be a cool one. It's a traditional design that you would see on a camp flag like that. And the Sundayz project pennant is I actually have stickers I'm gonna give you guys. It's that same design, but it's the font right here. It's the
awesome.
spell out logo. Yeah, those will be
Great.
cool. So stay tuned for those. Those will be also available on the same website.
Awesome.
Wow. A lot of stuff coming. It's all
Kind
happening
of
at
trying
once.
to keep the momentum
Yeah.
going. I took
Yeah.
a big break. I was off for like I think it was easily over a year.
It was a quiet
Yeah.
2023.
People
Yeah.
were yeah, nothing happened in 2023 except the quiet process, the work.
Yeah.
I didn't drop
Yeah.
anything. I was feeling kind of anxious about that. So as I am releasing these and sharing to everybody, I feel good. I feel proud of it. You
Yeah,
know?
you gotta have those times to create as well.
Yeah,
Though.
people were
Exactly.
starting to ask me if I quit. I was like, no,
Just you wait.
I'm just quietly working over here. Just watch out, you know.
The rumors were they're spreading like
There
wildfire.
was speculation that Sundayz project was no longer, but it's a forever thing.
Yeah.
Even if the name changes, you know, I got big ideas. So
Awesome. Well, that concludes this episode of The Local Lowdown. Thank you so much for coming today. We really appreciate it.
thank you. It was fun coming on, rapping some tracks, and speaking about my craft. God is Gorgeous, March 10th. Stay tuned for more. Sundayz project, always.
I like that. That was great. Yeah, yeah. But I just wanted to say thank you again for
Yeah.
coming back, Nolan, because it's really cool to have, you know, alumni come back. Even cooler to have somebody that was part of the Local Lowdown.
Absolutely.
Crafted some radio promos for us. Was
Yeah.
part of the team when we were doing the reboot.
Yeah, it's
So-
it's a full circle moment, just like last time. Even the timing of it just happened to work, you know, for this rollout, to be a part of my rollout this episode. It's really cool.
And thank you for tuning in to the Local Lowdown on 88.9 WCVF The Voice and 89.5 WDVL The Inferno. We will be back with some more stylish local music next week, same time.
Same place.
Bye.
Bye.
Everything under the sun, getting 5 things done at once, ayy. I'm a one of one, original and noble, yeah. I strive for a quiet confidence, but at times my pride gets the best and lets my ego win. I've been seeing synchronicities, a bunch of overlaps, similarities between the present and my past. Bad things come, but then returns are good. What am I to do? There's nothing that I couldn't. I call this instant swaggin', ego trippin'. I had the vision, I'm pursuing this. Look at me now, I'm influencing. What am I up to next? Guess you gotta pay attention. Oh, I forgot to mention, I'm feeling better than I ever did. My whole fit is sick, you don't know who you're dealing with. I've been fly like this, established in the year of 1999. My style be judged by a mile, I step out and shine. Hope you feel like this some other time. This is divine, perfect timing, always provided by God.
And he still is himself